Hashtag Doggy People with Phil Lassman.
Hello, it's me, and welcome to Hashtag Doggy People, the show where I get to chat to people about life, love, and dogs. And for my guest this week, I've gone and hit the doggy jackpot again. She's an awesome lady, and through her charity, Dogs on the Street, has just done about more for homeless people and their dogs than anyone in the planet. Please stand to attention and clap for the awesome Michelle Clark. Ta-da! There she is. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Phil.
Thank you. Welcome to Hashtag Doggy People. I'm so excited to have you here. It's like we're on a daytime date, really, isn't it? You know, but it's impossible to look sexy on a date when you're wearing earmuffs like this.
Well, I think they're rather sexy.
Do you?
Yeah,
Weird.
I like them.
I told you she was weird. I told you this one was weird. She is, which is why I like her, quite honestly.
I've got an earmuff fetish.
You're starting to be funnier than me already.
Okay,
I warned you about that. But anyway, yeah, so fantastic to have you here, and thank you for sparing the time, because I know that you are a ridiculously busy person. I know someone else that's a bit like you, a bit busy, that shuns me. Anyway, Michelle, so listen, thanks for coming on. You're one of the most admired people in all the charity business. It's true. I know you're a very humble person, but really what you've done with Dogs on the Street is amazing. Now, I know that you started it in, I think I'm right, in 2016.
No.
No. Good start.
It is a good start.
Got it right.
Rewind.
Right. What year was it then? I've done my research and it's
not
wrong,
very well.
Isn't it? Hang on, you are from the Mayhew, aren't you?
Yes.
This is the Mayhew.
Right.
Wrong
Can
show.
we bleep that out?
Wrong show. That is you, isn't it, Michelle Clark? That's it. No, when did you start? When did you start, Docs?
Dogs on the Streets founded in March 2017.
I was a year out, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole year.
A whole year. A lot can happen in it. A lot can happen in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2017. What? I mean, we know quite a bit about dogs, but what I'd like to ask you, as my first official question, is what were you up to before that?
Well, before that, I was still out on the streets of London, supporting homeless both with and without dogs. So I'd started 5 years prior, mainly in the borough of Westminster, supporting rough sleepers. And back then there was actually quite a lot of dogs out there, but they really wasn't recognised as being part of what the rough sleeper were going through. So I took that initiative so now going back 8 years, to support the dogs, but it was very sort of basic care. So it'd be like dog food, coats, blankets, and things just to help ease the pressure from the person. And obviously back then it was near on impossible to try and get them into any kind of supportive accommodation with their dog, but things have moved forward quite a lot since then.
What was excuse me, what actually was the inspiration behind the fact that you started to get involved with homeless people and their dogs?
Okay, so the initial inspiration to start helping out there was a man and his dog that used to sit in Crouch End. I used to drive through Crouch End on a very regular basis, and I was very naive to it. I just sort of kept seeing him sitting there with his dog, and I was wondering why. And it was coming up to the Christmas period, and it still took about another 2 weeks before I plucked the courage to sort of go and speak to him. And I remember I went down to my local shopping centre and I got an old mushroom box. You'll remember them, Phil. The old, going back, the old mushroom boxes with the...
I remember when we didn't have TV.
Oh, okay.
Playing birds, camels just to fly in the air. But crack on, Michelle, yeah.
So anyway, I got this mushroom box and I decorated it and I put all like little goodies in there for the dog. And I just decided to go up one day, say hello, and I just said, look, I've got this little package for your dog, is that all right? And I just never forget the gratitude. It was like a shock, like I was just handing him like a bar of gold. And I had to ask him, you know, I didn't even think about homelessness then. I was like, why do you sit here every day with your dog, you know? And he said, I'm homeless. And I still didn't get it. And, you know, he was just telling me, you know, a bit about his life history and his story and how he ends up sleeping on the street. And I was really shocked. And that sort of split 10 minutes educated me so much in such a short time. And obviously being an avid animal lover, I just thought, my God, how does this dog? And then after that, because I used to be in and out of London quite a lot, it became like buses then see someone else. But then I'd see people without dogs and doorways, and you know, it just sort of gripped me, and I just sort of wanted to see what I could do.
Well, you've certainly done a heck of a lot, Michelle. Tell us, so the big question is, when did it all start? When did you really decide that you're going to begin DOTS, and how did it all begin?
Okay,
How
so
did
I'm
it
not going to go
start?
into too much detail because we have got a book out that will give you everything about it. But I will just give you a brief outline. It was the inspiration of a street dog called Poppy that came initially into my foster care, who belonged to a street homeless owner who become unwell and had to go to hospital. So she initially came into my foster care, and then as time went on, there was, you know, various pathways of the story of it in the book. And I
We'll plug it.
yeah, and then I ended up adopting her through no fault of the owner, but it was the only way he was able to help I had her. And obviously, where I'd been helping the dogs, and when she came into my care, she needed a lot of medical care. Room, and it was just so much more that I thought, oh my God, if this street dog needs it, the others need it. So she really was the inspiration, and then sort of decided that it's a lot harder for these people to access all the things that we have instant access to, like grooming and training and regular dog food and free vet care or free accessible vet care, and also through their own mental health and addictions. It's hard to motivate them or even, you know, get them from A to B. So that's when me and Poppy sat down and had a chat, and we decided, well, you know what, if these people can't get these services, then we need to bring all the services out on the street.
And you certainly have done. I mean, the list is endless. I've got it all down here. Just tell us, Michelle, obviously we're in this horrendous pandemic, and it's affected millions of people's lives. What has lockdown meant for you and for DOTS?
I'm not going to deny it's been very, very tough. It's been very tough because we've had to scale back our volunteers because of obviously the coronavirus, and you know, they've got families and etc. So it's been very tough in trying to keep everything operating as normal as possible, because like with rough sleepers and homeless people, they like routine, they like, you know, to have the regular faces, the regular routine of being on the stations. So we've had to keep that operating, but then on top of that, a lot of boroughs decided to decant the homeless into local hotels because obviously they'd shut down due to the coronavirus, but they weren't allowed to take their dogs. So we were taking a multitude of dogs into our foster sanctuary, because we've got a sanctuary where we can accommodate the dogs. And then it's not only that they as well had limited access to support services, mental health, addiction. So as much as they're quite isolated out there, they're very kind of sociable people. So they too were sort of struggling. And I think mainly, I'll never forget a particular day when I got called in to come and pick up some dogs. And we went to a big main service, and the homeless had, you know, gathered there ready to be, you know, to get into their accommodation. And, you know, even the men, you know, they were crying. And what it is that they didn't know what was happening, because they just didn't have access to what we were actually being drowned in, which was media, you know, the news, and it was just constant with us. And they didn't have that. And like the women were crying, what's happening? They got scared. They didn't know, you know, what was going on. And that really did stick in my mind, that, you know, that was really difficult. And as much as me and my team are out there, we, you know, it's you know, we pick up on the secondary trauma. So it does affect us. It was just really sad. So it was very, very hard. And I felt very kind of lonely myself, because, you know, I had to isolate from everyone because of working with the homeless. They were my priority.
it's lonely at the top, isn't it, Michelle? I mean, you
Yes.
know, it's because DOTS has grown into quite a large organisation. But of course, what you do is, I think, really unique. I don't know of another charity that is providing animal welfare as well as human welfare. And I mean, you're a
Mm.
combination of so many different services. And of course, you know, it's really quite stunning. And you know, so many people, including myself, have got a great admiration because there's been nothing like DOTS and until you came along, and of course we needed it. Um, I know that it's not just London, of course, that you're involved with. How many cities are you operating in now throughout the UK?
Okay, so in regards to streetman stations, we have obviously central London, we have Oxford, we have Milton Keynes, but we are open to anywhere in the UK if we're contacted by primarily the services, that they may have a client with a dog and the dog may need some veterinary care, or they may need some support with essentials. We will then pathway them to sort of the nearest vet to them, and they can go into a veterinary practice, and then we'll cover the cost if they're too out of our vicinity to be able to help them as a one-to-one. So we are there for everybody, despite where. So we do get calls and emails in from all over the UK, but our main station, which is where we started, which is on the Strand in Westminster.
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
and we can see up to like 25 dogs in 2 hours
That's awesome.
there.
And of course, this all needs a lot of funding.
Mm.
Um, we're going to come to a specific part of the show for that, which
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the idea of hashtag Doggy People is to meet the wonderful people behind these amazing charities, and of course, you know, we want to try and do our best to try and raise some funds for you on the show. So we're going to do a little
Right.
appeal later on, because you know, I've been waiting for ages to try and do something because, you know, I mean, I'm just following, as I say to every guest. I mean, I'm useless. I mean, I don't do anything. I haven't got a real job in animal welfare apart from just hang on to Ira's coattails. But I thought by doing this show, you know, at least we can give a platform to people
Yeah, definitely.
who can help. Now, I mean, of course, the other thing I want to ask you is that what you do and your team do can often be pretty dangerous and quite
Mm.
scary. I mean, what are the fears that you face on the street, Michelle?
Um, I think myself now, I think the fear side has gone. You know, it's a bit like an animal, really. If you show fear, you're going to get fear back, you know, and that's something that we all learn. I mean, obviously, with our homeless friends, you know, it is very unpredictable. You know, as I say, high percentage, you know, if not majority, will have mental health and some form of addiction. And there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of, you know, resentment, and there's a lot of distrust. And I think what makes us different is we keep it real. You know, there's no airs and graces. You know what I mean? We treat them like humans. Well, I understand, you know, specifically what they're going through. So, and we don't use the dog to get to the client, which unfortunately a lot of people will use the dog. Don't get me wrong, it's always an advantage because, you know, it breaks the ice. But I'm interested in the owner, in the person, you know, I want to know about them. I want to know their name, you know, and we always say, you know, to our team that, you know, ideally when you first meet someone on the street with a dog, just don't engage with the dog. Let the dog suss you out. Engage with the owner, because while that dog is seeing you engage with the owner and the atmosphere and everything is calm and everything, then that dog is going to engage better with you. So it's not just about going out there and scoring points and scoring numbers and all, you
Sure.
know, it's about an understanding. It's about, you know, allowing them to build trust with us. And I always say to them, what can we do to help you? I don't go and go, right, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the barrier will go up and that's the end of it. So we just sort of like, what can we do to help you? And what can we do to help your dog? They may say nothing, and we say, that's fine, there's our number. And I guarantee you they'll end up calling us.
Yeah. Michelle, I mean, it's quite amazing. Where did you learn all this? Where did you learn the skill set that, and it is a very specified skill set. Where did you acquire these skills, or have you learned on the job?
I think it's a mixture of life. I think it's a mixture of I've learned a lot from them out there. It's not me just helping them. They've taught me a hell of a lot, our homeless friends. You know, they've taught me a lot about many areas. And also, you know, my life, my past life has taught me of an understanding and why these people will react the way they can. And I'm not saying I've had an addiction, because I haven't. And also, you know, it's just listening. It's listening before we go in and say, you know, it's authorities is very scary to them. And I suppose a lot of places where they go into services and everything, it's like the services have the control, and they don't like that, you know. And as much as we are a service, they kind of allow them to have that little bit of control. But there is boundaries, don't get me wrong, there's definitely boundaries, and they know that, you know, they can get to a certain point and they can push it. And it's not that you're banned, you're barred. It would be, listen, you know what, go away for a week, calm down. And again, I guarantee you they'll come back and always apologise.
You know, I just say that you've been to the University of Life, haven't you, Michelle, to acquire those skills from your I mean, in your, I'd like to just ask you, if I may, about your early life. I mean, where did you grow up? Where
I grew up in Barnet. Yeah.
Just up the road, yeah, in Barnet.
In
Exciting.
Barnet, yeah. Finchley was,
Exciting.
Finchley was a place that I grew up a lot in.
Right.
So yeah, I left school, no qualifications. Just was not interested in school.
Same as.
And as growing up, you know, I had a very difficult childhood. But I always had a love for animals, and I was always known as the crazy cat lady. I always have cats, or, you know, and when I left home very early. I left home about 16, 17. Well, I've had the best of life, but I can't say I've had the most difficult life. But I've definitely had life experience. And yeah, and then as time, animals were a very huge release for me. I always felt, you know, loved and appreciated, no matter what, whether it was a hamster or a cat, a dog, you know, or visiting a horse. Or mind you, the last horse bit me, but and I gave it a polo. So, but it's my fault. I shouldn't have.
No. Don't give, if you're going to ride a horse, don't give it a polo, man.
No, don't give it a polo. But if you do give it a polo, just don't turn round.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you know, life, really.
Yeah. So you did engage with animals in your early life. That's where the bug bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, and the rest of it, I get it. You know, it's not an uncommon story for people to have a few issues in their early life and turn to animals, and it's a wonderful thing. I mean, do you? You say you left school with no qualifications, but obviously you're a very, very shrewd lady. You're a very, you know, you're what I call high caliber, because you've learned the hard way. Do you set yourself goals in life?
No.
You just go along, just.
I just go day by day, especially in this line of work. I mean, it's different. I mean, I've had businesses in my time, and I think it's different with businesses because, you know.
Really, okay. What sort of businesses were they?
I've had mini cab and courier companies. I've had tanning shops. I've had a pet toy and accessory business. So I've always been in business. I've never only worked for one company, and that was when I worked on the Olympics with detection dogs. So yeah.
Great. So you've been your own boss. You know, you've had a lot of experience about being your own boss and running the show.
And I know a lot of people say that a charity, sometimes you have to run a charity like a business. But these are people's lives. I don't look at them like a business. You know, this is their lives, you know.
No, I know you don't, Michelle, but actually, I didn't realise this is one of the great things about the show. We're getting to know the person. I really didn't understand that you had a business background. And that tells me, personally, a heck of a lot about you, because if you've got those skill sets, then you can roll that out for whatever you choose to do. And I can see now why Dots, under your stewardship, has been so successful. I'm not schmoozing you, it's just a fact, and it's great. I mean, you know, you're an outstanding person. What would you say is your most outstanding feature, Michelle? Be honest. What would you say? I know what your most outstanding feature is, but anyway, what would you say?
Oh, no idea.
No idea.
No,
When's your birthday?
beginning
What's
of
your
the year.
Capricorn?
No, Pisces.
You're a Pisces, a fish.
Yeah,
Do you
always
know
going in
what?
different directions.
Yeah. No, we'd have got on very well because that's one of my favourite star signs, actually, most
Oh God.
compatible.
Actually, no, I'm a
Cancerian.
Capricorn now.
No, it's all right. I'm already spoken for, unless
Oh,
you want to
okay.
talk tomorrow. Anyway, so we've discussed about when you first became aware of animals. What animal do you most admire, Michelle?
Oh, I can't. I actually got asked this question this morning. What breed of dog do I prefer? I can't. I love anything, all animals.
Mm,
I can't. I mean, obviously domestic animals, cats, dogs, and I like, guinea pigs, hamsters, rabbits. I just love them all. There's nothing,
yeah,
if someone said to me, you can have any animal, I'd probably say I'll have them all, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. You're an animal lover, that's right.
Yeah, I
But
am. Yeah.
but I know that you're very much, obviously, you're very like us, big dog lover, and
Mm.
sadly we both had a similar experience just recently, haven't we? By
Yeah. I've just
yeah,
lost two. Two I've just lost in the last
yeah,
3 weeks. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. My
yeah,
baby and Brock.
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, but
Yeah.
that's part of dog ownership, isn't it? Really, that we have
Yes.
to prepare ourselves for that sort of thing. In fact, Abby, I don't know if
Mm.
I've actually got
Oh.
that's Abby, and that's actually her ashes. In fact,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
lovely?
No, she's
Oh,
beautiful. She's always gonna stay
mm,
with us.
of course, of course.
Anyway, so the well, the different services that you roll out through Dots. We're coming back to that now. I mean, you actually also you provide provisions, and you provide cooked meals for homeless people as well?
Yeah, we do some outreaching. I mean, especially through the coronavirus epidemic, the humanitarian essentials are just not available to those on the streets, both with and without dogs. Um, So particularly through that time, we were providing hot meals on a mobile outreach, PPE as well, and just sort of basic things like, like wet wipes, toothbrushes, toothpaste. On our stations, we provide bags which contain this items or pot noodles, and we get like homemade cakes and treats like chocolate crisps, things like that. I know it's not the best, but to them it's a luxury.
Yeah, yeah.
Teas and coffees, fruit juices. So yeah, we support the homeless, the people, as well as we do the dogs.
Mm.
And we like anyone that comes along to make them feel that they're included, so they get a tea and a coffee while we see to the dog and that. So yeah, yeah,
Mm.
do help them as
Well,
well.
yeah. What is the one single thing that brings you the most joy from running Dots?
One thing I think what is always nice to hear is when it's like I can provide the tools still, but it's down to them whether they want to pick them up and use them. I can only do so much. I can't mollycoddle them from A right the way through to Z. So I
Of
can say,
course
well,
not.
look, this is what I can do for you. This is how I can help support you, but you have to be ready. And it's a bit like trying to give up smoking. It can take 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts. I don't give up because, I know they want it, but there's that scare factor that they're coming out off the street, which is very sociable for them. It's a different lifestyle. And then going into a place which is like 4 walls and the isolation. So that's why anyone that we support off the street, we continue a support hub for them. So we will keep in regular contact. We will go and visit. We will furnish the house. We will go shopping with them. We will make sure that they know we're there for them 24/7. And then what is nice is when you see them moving on, it's like, it's like a child leaving home. They sort of like break away.
Mm.
But they always keep in touch. And we've had guys that have gone on to work, to buy a car, to getting girlfriends, to proposing. And then you do have some that will slip back, but then we just sort of pick them back up and we go back forward again. So it's a lot more is involved than what we actually put out there. It's really hard. And you know, we've also gone into the line of domestic violence as well, and that at the moment is rife with us trying to get the dogs in. So yeah, we do what we can. I'm the worst one. I never say no. You know what I mean? Like everyone keeps telling me, Michelle, you've got to say no, and I go, all right, I will. And they go, we've got this dog in.
You can't. You can't.
I can't say no.
No, I know that about you. What has been one of the worst moments for you at Dots? Have you had some awful experiences?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think there was one particular guy called Arthur who I got contacted. It's going back a couple of years ago now. He'd collapsed on the street. A member of public had taken his dog in, and that member of public had got told to make contact with dogs on the streets to look after the dog because the public couldn't keep the dog. So I took the dog in, and then I went and visited the owner in hospital to let him know his dog was safe and this is who we are and how could I help. And then he ended up being this homeless guy, Arthur. He was like in my life every single day for about 9 months, because I never forget when we went together to see the consultant after his test and hearing the word that he had cancer and he had probably no more than 6 months to live. And I supported him all through his hospital. He decided he didn't want treatment. He was going to just go with it. And then we had to get him into a hospice just before Christmas. And I was with him every day. And when he passed away, I felt like, you know, I'd lost such a great friend. It was heartbreaking. And I was honoured to be able to do his funeral. And, you know, he had a lovely turnout. Also, I think another thing that really stuck in my mind is through the coronavirus is another one of our young clients passed away, and I went to his funeral. And I was the only one there, and feel I can't get that out of my head. No, it was awful. It just absolutely, it was just me and him in the coffin. So when they passed away, and then literally 2 weeks after that, another very good client of mine passed away. So when they pass away, I take it personally, because these people are part of my life. You know, they're not just a number, they're not just a surname. You know, they become friends. You know, I get to know them personally, and they even know when I'm having a bad day or a sad day. And you know, even when I leave them, they'll call me and go, "Oh, just want to make sure you're okay." But there's obviously the professional aspect of things. But I think that's why we have a good rapport, because we don't just look at them as a surname, you know.
No, it's. I mean, the more I hear
and
about.
Obviously, sorry, when the dogs pass away, obviously, I mean that's gut wrenching.
Of course, yeah. Michelle, honestly, the more I hear you speak and the more I hear about your life, it strikes me that you must. I mean, every day, every moment, you're living with horrendous pressures and. You know, I mean, the emotions of meeting these people and the dogs. You've got that to deal with. You've got the operation to run. How actually do you cope with it, Michelle? What's your mechanism for chilling out, and can you switch off from it, or do you? You know, because you've got to watch yourself, haven't you?
I mean,
it's a lot of pressure for one person.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like what I said earlier. I mean, it's classed as secondary trauma. I do tend to know when things are starting to get too much for me. I'm not really one to, you know, step aside, because homelessness is 24/7. It's not 9 to 5, and it's not, you know, Monday to Friday. So I always have to be on call. There's some great people that I can release to, and one of them we both know very well, which is Mark Abraham. He's been a great friend, and you know, I can always pick up the phone, and sometimes I travel down to Brighton, and
top man,
and we don't even have to talk about anything. It's just being in the presence of somebody that understands. And you know, there's many others as well. Pete Wicks, he's one of our patrons that, you know, you can always have a laugh with him. So I try to be around inspiring people that just being in their presence, either on a phone call or face to face, lifts me. But also, if I go through really bad experiences like the death you know, and whatever. I'm going to be honest, I will go and take myself to maybe go and have an hour's counselling with somebody just to offload, which is quite standard within this
Well done.
sector. Yeah,
I'm
well,
pleased to
yeah.
hear that. You mentioned a couple of minutes ago yeah, one of your patrons, Pete Wicks, which who I've met him a few times. He's a good lad, is Pete. But I've got a bit of a problem with him, you know. I tell you what, I mean, it's happened loads of times. I go out in the street and like these screaming girls come along and they go, Pete, Pete, Pete. They think I'm Pete Wicks. What are you laughing for? I mean,
I can see the similarity, yeah.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? I mean, if you put me and Pete together, we're like twins. We are. I mean, from the side, you would not you could not tell which one was which.
No, I totally agree.
Well, I mean, I get mistaken for Pete Wicks all the time, and it really gets on my nerves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but and he gets the same thing. They come up to him, Phil, are you Phil Lassman? And he has to say yes at the end of the day. But now you've got some wonderful patrons. I mean, Pete is, bless him, he's amazing. I think Peter is one of your patrons, is he not? Peter Egan?
Peter Egan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Peter Egan. He's amazing.
Yes.
He's been a great support a great support to us. Yeah, he's amazing all round to everybody. Anything to do with an animal, you know.
He's there.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a patron of about 458 different charities. Last time I spoke to him. And
is that why we get a retweet every 458 days?
Yeah. He's just an awesome man. In fact, I mean, Peter's got the show off the ground. He was guest number 1. You'll see when we launch it. And and he's amazing. And he's even, I mean, he's arranged for me to, we've got Jill Robinson coming on in a couple of weeks' time from Animals Asia.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah. You had to think about that for a minute.
Sorry.
Just thinking, who's Jill Robinson? People who make marmalade. And of course, you've got the lovely Anna Webb, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, she's one of our ambassadors, as well as Candice Brown is an ambassador.
Yeah.
You're going to think, who's Candice Brown?
Yeah, I have no idea. Is she a pop star? Is she a pop star? Because if she is, unless she made a record in the 50s, I wouldn't know. But anyway, listen. So what we want to do, Michelle, we come to the point where we want to help you and we want to raise awareness of DOTS. I think this show will do that. But what we really want to do is get you some Mazuma. So, viewers, we're coming to the time. This is my little ding-a-ling.
My God.
My bell. That's the end of it. Gone over yet. Good. So, Michelle, how can we raise money for DOTS? What we would like to donate to you. What do you need money for, and how can we do it?
Okay, so obviously due to this year being quite a write-off for many charities, we've suffered tremendously due to fundraising and donations have dropped drastically, which we understand. So obviously financial support is imperative for us because it helps us supply the free accessible vet care. We have like medication to provide, operations to pay for, but also we now have a sanctuary which we accommodate and for foster dogs of the homeless people, which again they need veterinary care, etc. There can be essentials, there can be special diets which we all have to fund for. So any financial support is so greatly appreciated. We obviously have added overheads now with the sanctuary, as well as our vehicles that we transport and our mobile vet vehicle. Alternatively, we have a wish list with Pet Connection, which lists all the essentials that we're in need of, which can be from dog food to dog coats, toys, bags even. We have a Golden Giving fundraiser going on at the moment for the sanctuary. And basically anything that anyone feels that they can do under the tight protocols that we're under right now with coronavirus, that they can do to sort of highlight the charity and raise some funds. And, you know, £1 is vital to us. So we're not saying we need hundreds out of one person. £1 can help worm can help buy, you know, even a tin of food. So yeah, we appreciate anything that comes along. Unfortunately, we can't take on volunteers at the moment, and we can't really take in second-hand items at the moment due to the coronavirus. But hopefully that will all change in the new year.
Cool. So if we want to make donations to Dogs on the Street, we can donate through your website?
Yeah, through our website, how you can help. There's our PayPal there. There's also our Pet Connection wish list, which is free direct delivery to us. And then across our social media, we put links up for our our Golden Giving. We've also got a book out called Poppy the Street Dog, which can be purchased via Amazon. So again, proceeds from that comes to the charity, and we currently have our own unique designed Christmas card, which is on our website as well. Again, 100% profit is coming to the charity.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So viewers, yeah, that's right. You heard it from the lady herself. Dots is the most amazing charity going out there supporting homeless people, and we're coming up to the time of year where obviously we have to consider people who really have suffered an awful lot, and homeless people have got the worst deal of all. So if you can, please support Michelle and Dots and the team by donating as whatever you can. As Michelle said, even £1, £10, £100, whatever you can do. Perhaps even sign up for a monthly direct debit. You do that?
Yeah,
brilliant.
If they email in, we can then give them the, can do a monthly via the PayPal.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's see if we can raise a few pounds for you, Michelle, and great. So yeah, we're sort of, I think we're doing all right. We've got a little bit more to go in the show. I just wanted to ask you, coming back to, because what you're doing here is, I'm trying not to, I know it's a serious subject, I'm trying to lighten it a little bit, but I'm just going to come back to the situation with homeless people, because it's something that's growing. It's not getting smaller in the UK, and it's something I know. I mean, Ira takes this very personally as well. I mean, whenever we walk out on the street and there's a homeless person, we have to stop. You know, she'll give something to them. How do you view the future of help of homeless people? Are you confident that we will get on top of this, or are you going the other way? Because no one would have more inside information than you. How do you see the future?
I don't think it's anything that we will ever eradicate. I think there will always be homelessness. With dogs, it's becoming increasingly concerning, the amount now that are becoming street homeless with their dogs. But in fairness to services, they are doing what they can now to accommodate dogs with their owners. But the ones that aren't, we do remind the services as well as the owners that there is a duty of care. And, that's when we tend to step forward and say, okay, look, we're not accepting you telling the owner that they have to give their dog up. There is a duty of care. There is a duty of responsibility to the services as well as to the owner. We are a charity that uses animal welfare very strongly. So, even if we come across somebody, say, that has mental health and addiction, and like anything, it could go a bit AWOL, we will retrieve the dog from that owner during that period so they can get the right help, because dogs out on the street do suffer higher anxiety than what somebody would indoors, like a pet living indoors. So I think as well, what people have got to understand is they're completely different behaviours between street dogs and pet dogs. So yeah, I mean, we every day is different. No 2 days are the same. No two clients are the same. The only thing that is the same is the addiction and mental health. So we always will protect the dogs, and we don't seize dogs to do any prosecution and to seize them, permanently. We will seize them possibly so it will help the owner to realise that they need that help to get their dog back. And we call it a bit of respite for both of them. So the dog will come with us, we give them a bit of respite, a bit of playtime. And especially dogs that have come into us from domestic violence, you'll be surprised that how many, because we have like behaviourists that will come in and do assessments, and we work with the behaviours, that how many do actually have post-traumatic stress, would you believe it? So, you know, we have all sort of like the calming sprays from Pet Remedy, you know, and the anxiety shirts, and, you know, we do everything like they're like our little mental health patient. You know, we will do what we can to bring them back to you know, to feeling good about themselves as well, because as much as they're going through that anxiety with the dog, they're obviously feeling lost without their owner. But then we also keep in touch with the owners as well constantly.
Yeah, yeah. Have you and you've made some good relationships through this, I would presume. You know, there's different. You know, it's hard to keep that work private balance. But is there any particular people that you've become attached to?
What, the homeless people?
The homeless people, yeah. Do you?
You know, I don't favour anyone, and it's like animals. I don't favour any. You know, they're all equal to me. I mean, some will, you know, pull on your heartstrings a little bit more. I mean, each case, each individual case is so different.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, do you know, one thing that so surprises me, Phil, with all these people out there, despite what they're going through, they're always so positive. They're always upbeat. They're always, you know, they have their moods, but so do we. And, you know, I accept their moods more, you know. But they're just always just so, you know, they're just amazing people.
Have any of them ever come across to the other side, i.e. to come and work with Dots at all? To help other homeless people?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few. Also, I tend to try and take on those that are going through the process of a new pathway. So, you know, they may come and help out at the station, and they like that. They come and unload the van, and they'll come and help load it up, and they'll make up some food bags. So yeah, we do. I mean, obviously, we have to be very careful because, you know, it's like our community. We don't always get on with it.
Yeah.
But I do what I can for them to be involved as much as I'm able to protect them, and obviously to protect the others as well. But yeah, I mean, they like it. But if anything, they like to come along to the station. They like the fact that they can have a laugh, and, you know, and they happily give us the dog just to hold on to and things like that. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. And coming to the dog itself, I mean, most of the homeless people that we'll see will normally favour the Staffy breed. Is that actually what you see, or do they have a whole variety of dog breeds?
8 years ago, definitely was the Staffy breed. But I think 10 years ago, it was all about the Staffy breed.
It was, yeah.
I think now, as we're moving on, we see a multitude of different ones. You know, Chihuahuas, Huskies, German Shepherds, you know, Staffy crosses. Yeah, and I think that's because what people don't understand is that anyone can become homeless at any time. So all these different breeds now are in people's homes before they can become homeless.
Right.
Because people will say, oh, well, they go and, you know, they'll go and, you know, take a dog on the street, you know, but it's very hard to go and find a Chihuahua street, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, we'll have that one, that's coming. So yeah, we're seeing such a variety now, really are. The Staffy breed is tending to sort of like dwindle out a little bit. Yeah. And sadly, a lot of them are stuck in rescues, aren't they? But yeah, no, we do see a multitude now.
But the breed itself is actually becoming a little less available. That you don't see anywhere near as many Staffies, but you know, but they are so humanoid. I've always thought that a dog, whatever breed it is, I mean, the bond between, you know, a human and their dog is amazing, and I can easily understand why a homeless person would actually have so much comfort from having an animal with them. It's like companion.
I've been told many a time, it's their dog keeps them alive, and you know, it's like what they say to me, Michelle, you know, my dog rescued me, not me rescue my dog. So and I get that, you know, they don't have their dog as a source of security, they have their dog as a source of comfort, companionship, responsibility, purpose.
And they also have you as a source of comfort, and everyone at Dots. Yeah. No, I mean, the team, the team that you work with, the whole organisation.
They're amazing.
Michelle, you're all amazing. I think Dots is the most outstanding charity. I want you to. It's got to keep going forever and ever.
Well, I
And
hope
you
so.
know, and I know that if you've got anything to do with it, it will do. So, look, Michelle, coming to the end of the show, I mean, I really appreciate you telling us all the ins and outs of Dots. You know, I hope you're going to come back and talk to us again in a few months' time. We'd like to follow your
Yeah,
progress.
thank you.
And also, if there's anything that that we can do here on #DoggyPeople at any time to help you promote anything. I mean, we know you've got the book coming out, Poppy the Dog. You know, love to chat to you about.
It's out already.
Oh, it's already out.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
on
already.
Amazon. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're all going to go out, rush out, and buy that. So listen, Michelle, you know, I know we do a serious job. We come in, I just want to have a little bit of a giggle with you. We do this thing called Doggy People Dabble. I'm going to ask you three questions. I mean, they're stupid questions. Here we go. Question one. I mean, if you woke up tomorrow as a 20-year-old, and I bet you'd look all right, what would be the first three things that you would want to do if you were 20?
Well, first, I'd like to tell you that I am 20. No.
Yeah.
First three things I'd like to do when.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Oh God, the first three things I'd like to do when I wake up in my 20s is oh God.
Don't keep it clean for the camera because I mean you want to see what Peter Egan said.
Oh well, tell me what he said.
Well.
I'd probably like to wake up and think what happened the night before.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do now anyway. But that's all good.
And it's probably to go out, buy a dog. No, not buy a dog. Sorry, adopt a dog. Adopt a dog.
Horror.
Can we rewind that?
Yeah, it's all right. Edit. It'll be edited.
And probably get ready to get drunk and find out what I did the night before that.
I'll accept those answers. That's what we'd all do. Ladies and gentlemen, you think she's drinking tea, don't you? That's bloody straight vodka, that is. Right, number two. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, God. It's got to be mince pies.
That's it? Mince
pies.
Not just at Christmas, you mean throughout the year?
Well, if I could get them all year round, I would. But I have an obsession with mince pies. So if anyone wants to send in any mince pies to me, I am happy to accept.
So that's how you, guys, if you want to get round Michelle, bring her a packet of mince pies.
Most definitely.
And she's yours, you know.
Well.
Now, look, lastly, I would nominate you, but who would you nominate as your all-time animal welfare hero?
Oh, no, don't do this to me. Oh my God.
Just done it, girl. Just done it.
Oh,
tough one, isn't it?
You, Phil.
Easy get out. All right.
Well, there's too many people to mention.
I know.
It really is. I mean, I want to give everyone a little bit of each nomination.
Fair enough. It's a toughie.
That's a very stupid question, Phil.
Yes, right, that's going off. I've researched. I'll tell you what. Pages and pages I'll do research. I mean, I'm not a complete no-honour. I know I look like one, but I'm not a complete one. Anyway, Michelle, you've made it. You've made it through the show. All right, you can breathe a sigh of relief. I think you're an absolutely blooming gorgeous, unbelievable character. And I could talk to you for 3 days and 3 nights. All I'd need is coffee, a packet of mince pies, and a bucket. Definitely. That's all I'd need. Listen, you're one of my favourite animal welfare heroes. I'm proud to call you a mate. And I just wish you all the best in the future. Thanks for coming on Doggy People and talking to us. And please come back and talk to us again in a few months' time. Yeah? Yeah,
definitely. And keep safe. Keep safe.
Yes, and you keep safe as well. All right? Otherwise, I'll be sending you a hamper of mince pies at Christmas. All right?
I love you already.
I love you. Love you, Michelle. All right. Sling your hook. We're done. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So that's the end of this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it. Michelle is an amazing girl, and I told you we would get her. I told you. They said I wouldn't get her, but we did. So please join me next time for another #DoggyPeople when we'll meet some more animal welfare heroes. That's it from me. Stay safe, love your dog, take care, and cheerio. Bye-bye.